Why is marketing your weak link? Because if you had more sales, you could get more products manufactured. And with strong sales, investors and retail partners start chasing you, which also gives you the opportunity to introduce new products when you need to. Therefore, the limit to your business is sales, and that is driven by marketing. Because when you can profitably acquire new customers, your business will grow. So here's 3 steps on how to do it. I'm using the framework within Dan Kennedy's The Ultimate Marketing Plan, but then adding my own secret sauce inside it. Step 1, message. Without the right marketing message, it doesn't matter who hears it, they're not going to convert. And even if you have a good marketing message at the moment, you're losing sales when it's not great. So you always want to be making sure you're improving this. I use the PUT framework to do this, and you can do a checklist of your marketing message through this framework. It starts with transformation. Transformation is about the before and the after state that you are taking your customers on in their journey. What will they have before and after? What will they feel? What will this change in status be? So they can go on a journey with your brand in order to solve a problem. Because everyone buys a product in order to solve a problem. We don't buy it just because we feel like it. There is something within us that is driving us, and you need to understand that in your customer. Sometimes it seems really obvious, like they're buying that Supreme t-shirt because they need a new t-shirt, but that's obviously not true. They're buying it for the status that they're going to get and the transformation in social status that they have when they're wearing that t-shirt around their friends and peers or to the different activities that they do. So you must be very aware of why your customers are actually buying your products. This is very important. Part 2 is uniqueness. When people are buying, they need to buy your product for a unique benefit. If you have no reason to exist, then why would they buy of you instead of going down to the competitor down the street? This is when you're a commodity product and you're just selling the same thing as everyone else. You must offer unique benefits in order to stand out in your market. What is special about your product that they can't get anywhere else? How do you make yourself a category of one so you stand out from the crowd and your customers are loyal to you because they literally have no other option? As the market evolves, you obviously have to keep working on your uniqueness to stay ahead of the market. Otherwise, your business will stagnate. But if you're not unique in the beginning and through your journey or right now, it's something you need to fix as quickly as possible. Part 3 of the PUT framework is positioning. What is your positioning of authority or credibility that you bring to the market? Why should people believe what promises you're making? How do you stack the proof that you have so people believe your marketing message? This could be the number of reviews or happy customers that you have through your website or through retail stores or your distribution. It could be authorities supporting your product, influencers or scientific experts or fitness professionals, whatever it may be. How do you build as much credibility into the brand that you have in order for people to remember what it promises and believe in you? So that's the PUT framework. Transformation, uniqueness, and then positioning. Make sure you've ticked all those boxes and you should have a strong marketing message that you can use to sell your product. That brings us to step 2, market. If you don't put your message in front of the people, then it's never going to work. I'm a vegan, so it doesn't matter how good your message is selling me steak from like real animals, I'm never going to buy it, and it's falling on deaf ears and probably irritating me in the process. So you must select your market and make sure that you're reaching them with your message. Gary Halbert has a great story. He used to do this in his marketing seminars. He's a famous copywriter, and ask the students, if you were starting a hot dog stand, what would you want to make sure, guarantee that your business would be successful? And people would come up with all kinds of answers like, I want the best hot dogs and to have the best selection of sauces and bread, and I'm gonna have the best hygiene and great signage and the best price and all these other random things. But that wasn't the answer that he was looking for. His answer was a starving crowd. The most likely thing that will make your business successful is the starving crowd. If he had a hot dog cart and he took it to a Major League Baseball game and put it outside the stadium when everyone was filing out and people were hungry, he's more likely to get sales. It doesn't matter how good his hot dogs are or how many sauces he has or what the price is. People are starving and they need your product and you put it in front of them, then you do very well. So if you can get a starving market and people are hungry for your product, then that's the first step. So look for that in terms of your market. Who really needs the solution? We talk in marketing about having a painkiller solution or having a vitamin solution. Vitamins are nice to have, like they're good for your future health, but a painkiller, when you've got a headache, you need that immediately to solve that problem. So who is your market that you're actually selling a painkiller solution to? You also need to understand your customers at the deepest level possible. I don't know how many clients that I've worked with who have never actually done a customer analysis. So if you go into your e-commerce website or look at people who email you or comment or your like biggest fans and that kind of thing, have you actually got on the phone and talked to them about why they love your product so much? What language and words are they using to describe your product? Do you go through your social media posts and read all the comments and say, oh, that's interesting, I hadn't thought about that benefit that people are talking about or how that changed that person's life. That's a great story. It's very uncommon. We did an analysis in one of our clients' businesses where we looked at the people who were spending the most. The customers that were the 20% that were actually driving, like it was about 50 or 60% of the revenue because they were purchasing so much stuff. While everyone else might buy once a year and spend $100, these people were spending $10,000. And so you want to put those people on a list and actually say, well, what do you want from us and why do you like working with us, and nurture those customers because they're the ones going out and telling everyone else about you as well. You can also test who your best market is because sometimes we don't know. We'll talk in a second about social media and how that can help do this. But for example, when Honda went to Los Angeles and started its branch there, it was over there trying to sell big motorcycles and that kind of thing. But people saw the office workers going around on these little scooter type things and was like, oh, where can we get those? And they were like, well, you can't. Like, we just bring them over from the company in Japan. Like, there's no way Americans want these tiny little bikes. But it was a whole new market that they didn't even realize existed. It meant they started selling these small scooters and they took off, and now Honda is very well known in America. I'm pretty sure it's a motorcycle company in America, where it's actually a car company in Japan or in New Zealand where I'm from. So it's interesting when you don't know exactly who your market is. Sometimes you're trying to find your market and you can test that during the process. How do you test it? Let's talk about step 3, media. Media is where you put your message so your market will actually see it. You can see how you need your message and your market and your media all working together. In Dan Kennedy's book, he has a nice triangle with them on the 3 sides of it in order to make sure that this works. Because if you miss one aspect of this, it's not going to work. If you are trying to target 20-year-olds at the moment and you put your ads in the newspaper, they're never going to see them. And so you need to make sure that you put it on TikTok where they're actually spending time. Hopefully that is pretty obvious, but sometimes we miss this. Where should you start with your media and marketing your business, and what opportunities could this uncover? Look at where all your competitors are advertising, because if they're advertising there and paying money to do it, it's likely that they're making money back. That means your customers are there, they are buying, and your competitors are making money. So you should probably be in the same place. I've also had instances where we've bought into particular media for brands, and it turns out that other competitors weren't making that much money there and they were just there for the sake of it. So it's not a golden rule, but if you do better advertising in the space that they are, it was getting in front of our target market, and when we made better ads, it made our ads profitable. So we could actually make it work, and it was a printed magazine. We started to dominate that magazine in terms of advertising while everyone else was dropping away and our competitors were actually disappearing because they couldn't make it work like we could. That's the first part, is find out where your competitors are and then match that and do it better. So then social media would be the next step. You can target a whole bunch of different audience cohorts on social media and find out who your market might actually be. You're allowed to run a social post to a 30-year-old mother and a 20-year-old single straight man and a 60-year-old retired grandparent on your social media channel, and those people will see the content that they're interested in. Well, I've talked a lot about the change from the social graph, where social media is just shown to your followers, to the interest graph, where it's shown to what you're interested in. So if you go on TikTok, you see the For You feed, and they're trying to give you posts that they think you will like, rather than putting you immediately into posts from the followers, the people that you normally follow. This is a very interesting shift, and all the other platforms have been copying this as well. That means that showing up and being interesting in front of your market is a great way to dominate the media that you're presenting on. As you test these different aspects, it also enables you to see what works and take this back to your messaging and your market, so you know you're improving all three sides of the triangle at the same time. You can get feedback on your message, and you can get feedback on if you're targeting the right people and how that message should tweak to particular people. And then that'll affect your overall message that might be on your website, where you obviously can't change based on how the visitor is looking at it until AI starts doing that kind of magical stuff for us one day. For now, we just need to make sure our website, our packaging speaks to the whole message that we need, that will attract all the different types of people without repelling part of our ideal market. But then we can use these individual marketing channels through social media and different avenues like that. Advertising on radio will hit a certain demographic versus advertising on a magazine, or different radio channels as well, different demographics. So you can tailor your message to the right market through the media that you're choosing as well, to identify the match between all those three. It's kind of like a Venn diagram, if you remember those from school, where you have the big circles and you've got message and market and media, and there's an intersecting point between the three of those. And when you hit that, then that's when your business starts to take off, because you've found your magic formula. And then you hopefully can just add different types of media to expand your marketing in order to get it out to a wider and wider audience. And that is why hitting this magic spot will fix your marketing and allow you to scale. I suggest doing an audit of your marketing to see which of these areas that you can improve, and I guarantee that all of them can be improved in some ways. And that's what marketing is. It's a journey where you go around and improve all the different parts, and you always need to be focused on this and making it better, because it's the ceiling on your current level of revenue right now. If you don't do this, then your business is always going to struggle in the market, and you're going to find competitors coming in and eating your lunch, taking over your market share because they're doing their marketing better. It doesn't matter whether they have a better product or not. If they have the right product for the right person and they put it in the right place, they're going to win. And there's nothing you can complain all you like about it, but it doesn't change the fact. But when you get your marketing dialed in and you've got that message to the right market and the right media so they're seeing it, then your business can take off. And there really are only the limits of how big your market actually is. And you can always try to expand that with marketing too, and reach new people with social media. So put some focus on this and make sure that you look after your marketing.